so much as a warning. Life hangs in the balance. Human endeavor turns to chaos. And within seconds, nothing will ever be the same. Ever. Get ready for some of the most mind-blowing moments of destruction ever captured on camera. From a fiery multi-car pileup on a Japanese racetrack to the collapse of a double-decker freeway structure rammed by a tanker truck. This is destroyed in seconds. The All-Japan Grand Touring Car Championship at Fuji Speedway. Due to torrential rains, the track is dangerously slick. But the race goes on as planned. Early in the warm-up lap, driver Tomohiko Sanako skids into another car and then crashes into the safety barrier. Seconds later, racer Tetsuya Ota loses traction and careens off the track. Ota is sent back across the track, his car engulfed in flames, and he's stuck inside. During the warm-up lap, the pace car is going too fast. The pace car driver suddenly slows down, causing the racers to brake and swerve. This causes Sanako to spin out, creating perfect conditions for the spectacular crash and fire. Ota bounces off the wall and across the track, narrowly missing another car. Another driver pulls over and empties his personal fire extinguisher on Ota's car. After struggling to douse the flames, the driver finally pulls Ota out of the charred wreck. There's no doubt that Ota is injured. The question is, how badly? Ota spends a minute and a half exposed to temperatures in excess of 800 degrees. Ota suffers severe burns to his face and neck. Sanako is taken to a nearby hospital with minor injuries. This will be the last race for Tetsuya Ota. After recovering from his injuries, he retires from racing. Security guards monitoring their surveillance cameras see a flash from the left side of their screen. They turned the remote-controlled camera, revealing a two-level section of the 580 freeway engulfed in flames.
Dude, that's crazy.
A fully loaded gasoline tanker truck slammed into a 100-ton concrete pillar.
I can see the truck a little bit.
The truck and its 8,600-gallon payload erupts into a huge ball of fire.
Oh, look at the freeway. Look at the warp.
The flames hit 2,750 degrees, hot enough to melt the metal that supports the highway overpass above.
See, here he goes. The upper structure's gonna fall a little bit. It was melting. Damn, that is crazy, huh?
Oh my God.
Motorists with camcorders happen upon the scene.
The whole freeway just fell down. It's split completely wide open. I don't know. The freeway just collapsed. Yeah.
Do you know why?
Container tipped over or something right there.
But the fall of this California freeway isn't finished.
See the truck?
The extreme heat causes a second section of freeway to buckle and then collapse. A shower of molten metal and pavement flows from the freeway like lava from a volcano. The heat is too much for firefighters. They have to wait until most of the fuel burns before they move in.
Look at that. Man, that's some hot fire. Look at it.
The driver of the gasoline truck is extremely lucky and manages to escape without injury. Investigators say a shift in his cargo is to blame for the accident. Fortunately, the highway is mostly empty when the explosion happens and no other motorists are involved. It takes 26 days and just under $6 million to rebuild and reopen the interchange.
Damn, that is crazy, huh?
Jürgen Brunner has been riding a motorcycle for 10 years. Today, he's in Sudenfeld, Germany, near the Bavarian Alps. It's a popular spot for motorcyclists, a winding mountain road with plenty of easy curves. Jürgen's friend is shooting footage for a music video. The day is sunny and dry, ideal riding conditions, which is what makes what happens next all the more unexpected. At the leisurely pace of 45 miles per hour, Jürgen's rear tire starts to wobble. He loses control and smashes into a stone wall. He catapults through the air and slams onto the road. Thanks to Jürgen's safety gear, he only breaks 2 toes and cracks a bone in his wrist. His $11,000 bike is totaled. Although he doesn't feel like it, Jürgen is incredibly fortunate. On the other side of the wall he hit is a 45-foot drop. Jürgen is lucky he wasn't thrown into the ravine. As for what caused him to crash, Jürgen says he's reviewed the footage dozens of times, but still can't figure out what went wrong. This is the pyrotechnics capital of the Philippines. New Year's Eve shoppers purchase fireworks to set off at midnight, a tradition to chase away bad luck. At 10 a.m., word spreads through the marketplace that a blaze has broken out in one of the fireworks shops. Customers and workers flee the area as smoke billows from a vendor's stall. Fearing an explosion, locals scramble to contain the fire. They douse the flames with fire extinguishers, but it's too little, too late. Panic ensues. Frightened shoppers run for cover. Moments later, another explosion sends debris flying. The fire rages out of control. Pyrotechnics shooting off in all directions, igniting adjacent fireworks stands. By the time fire crews arrive, much of the blaze has burned itself out. In all, 10 fireworks stalls are gutted. Several area buildings lose windows. An official investigation determines that a lit cigarette was accidentally thrown on a stack of fireworks. This fire marks the 8th pyrotechnics accident of the year for the province. In this instance, 7 people suffer minor injuries. A trio of storm chasers don't know it yet, but they're hot on the trail of a tornado so huge, it'll set a new record.
Oh, big tornado! There's a big tornado on the ground. Large tornado on the ground. South of Wilbur.
They're just outside the town of Wilbur, Nebraska. Population 1,700.
Wedge! It's a wedge!
Oh, satellite tornado.
Suddenly,
It's heading for us.
the chasers find themselves on the wrong side of the chase.
Don't panic, son. Don't panic. Don't get stuck or anything.
On their tail is a massive twister, as well as a smaller tornado circling around it. The men try desperately to stay ahead of the twister.
Keep on going. Keep on going.
Just as it's bearing down, they spot a building under renovation with no doors or windows.
Door, windows open. Get out. Get out. Get out of the car.
They make a run for shelter. Just seconds after they get inside, all hell breaks loose. Part of the building's facade collapses. Bricks and metal rain down on the sidewalk. The men emerge after the storm passes, only to find their car badly damaged. They spend the night at a local hotel. The next day, they return to the site of the drama.
I just can't believe I was inside this thing, right in there.
The damage is even more extensive in the building next door. Before it's drivable, the group's battered car requires major repairs. Thankfully, nobody in town was badly hurt. The wedge tornado is rated an F4, with winds between 207 and 260 miles an hour. The Nebraska tornadoes leave $175 million worth of damage. And at 2.5 miles across, the widest path of destruction ever documented. Off the coast of Malta, planes fly above the Mediterranean Sea in the annual Grand Prix race. It's both exciting and dangerous since the high-speed planes fly extremely close to one another. And there's no room for error. As they near the finish line, veteran pilots Gabor Varga and Eddie Goggins race close together. Too close. The right wing of Goggins' plane clips the tail of Varga's, sending Varga crashing into the water at nearly 200 miles an hour. Rescuers arrive within seconds from both sea and air. Although his plane was only 30 feet above the water, Goggins was able to safely bail out and deploy his parachute. He suffers only minor injuries. Sadly, Varga was killed after his aircraft impacted the water. After an official investigation, both pilots were cleared of any responsibility in the accident. It's a Saturday afternoon at the World Finals boat races in Chandler, Arizona. Drag boat racer James Ray is about to take on a competitor. Out of the jump, James blows away his opponent. At 240 miles per hour, his boat begins to shake. James gets a great jump from the start. 3 seconds into the race, his opponent's engine malfunctions. As James crosses the finish line, his boat starts to wobble. The right front fin catches water and spins it to the right. As the vessel flips through the air, the safety capsule ejects. The $200,000 boat splinters into pieces. Seconds later, emergency crews make their way toward the capsule. The $20,000 pod has done its job and kept James alive. But when the pod's finally back on land, medics discover that James has suffered a back injury. He's carefully removed and rushed to the hospital. This crash fractures James' back, sternum, and several ribs. His injuries may have been less severe had he not broken his back a year earlier. Fortunately, James is expected to make a full recovery. These are the remains of a municipal building in Zonguldak, Turkey. And this is the culprit. Zonguldak is one of Turkey's rainiest provinces. A severe storm begins in the evening and continues well into the next day. Heavy downpour causes rivers to overflow. Drains and sewers are plugged by mud and debris. 70% of the streets are flooded. The soil becomes saturated and unstable. Beneath the municipal building, the earth gives way. Flash floods overflow the municipal building's draining system. Under the concrete, there is only landfill. This structure is built on a riverbed. The municipal building isn't the only structure affected by the flood. Throughout the province, homes, businesses, and vehicles are damaged. Salvage attempts are hampered by rising waters. As the flooding continues, residents seek refuge wherever they can. At the accident site, no one is injured. Because of Zonguldak's rainy weather and unique geology, disasters like this are all too common. This structure will have to be rebuilt from the ground up. I'm Ron Pitts, and we'll see you next time on Destroyed in Seconds.